How old do you have to be to do some skateboard? I don't know. I think you can start as early as probably 3 years old. You know, do it until you're 50 or even a little bit older.
My wife actually supports it big time. I mean, I'm actually here today. When I first met her, you know, she was one of those people that she's very individual herself, and it's, you know, she just actually loves it that I'm still skating. The fact that I'm so dedicated to something like this, where most people would think, oh, it's skateboarding, you know, you don't do that once you're past 12 years old, you know, and, you know, there's a lot of things people aren't supposed to do past 12 years old, but she loves it. She thinks it's great.
It helped me when I was younger. I had ADD, ADHD, BDD. I had everything. You know, every acronym you could come up with I had. And once I started skateboarding, I mean, it'd be a gift for me to like pass a class with a D-. But once I started skateboarding, it really taught me how to concentrate. It taught me how to, you know, persistence. It taught me so much. It's a sickness. Right, Jake?
It's an addiction.
It is an addiction.
You know?
It's an addiction, and I mean, it kept me out of drugs, kept me out of alcohol. You know, it's just one of the greatest things.
What's going to happen when we reach the point where we cannot stand on our board and push? Is that the day that we really die? You know, it's a real morbid thought, and to be that morbid about something you love so much is really hard to do it on yourself. At least for me, I could never do that. I've thought about it briefly, but never in depth to where I want to think about it. It's kind of a sad thing.
No, I'm sad.
I know.
It depressed me.
I guess you could say I'm pretty much obsessed with skating at this point in my life. Ever since I started back skating bowls and parks, from the moment I leave the park until the next week when I arrive, I'm constantly thinking and daydreaming about different lines I can take in the park, what I can try differently or new, and trying to think of things I can do where I'm not going to kill myself in the process. But it's just that, you know, I live from Saturday to Saturday. I met a girl and fell in love, and turns out she became my wife, and got married. And you know, at that point and early on in the relationship, I pretty much just put my board away and didn't pick it up for 20-some years, and I have some regrets about that. But you know, I raised a family and built a home, and it's all good. Really into listening to NPR in the mornings, and something caught my ear, and they were doing a review of Dogtown and Z-Boys. And when I heard the title Dogtown and Z-Boys, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, what is this? So I turned up the radio, and they were talking about the movie, and it was coming out in a couple of weeks, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta see this. So I found out that where it was playing at an indie film house in downtown Chicago, and a friend of mine and I went, and we were sitting there watching the movie, and it was just, wow, I mean, everything just kind of came back at me. It's just all the images from Skateboarder magazine and the ads, and these guys who, when I was 14, 15 years old, these guys were my heroes. And then they showed a clip of Tony Alva skating a swimming pool at age 42. And I was just like, whoa, if he can do this, I know I can get back and do this. So, but I waited like 2 years or so before I got a skateboard, and I got a longboard and just started messing around on that. I didn't want to get too crazy and hurt myself. And then eventually I met a guy at a place I was working who who was into riding shortboards in concrete parks, and he sold me a complete board, and I started going every Saturday in the summertime, and started out really slow, and as time has progressed, I've progressed, and it's just been a great ride. It's been so much fun, and I've met a lot of just amazing people. And to think that it all started again for me just by watching a movie.
I remember growing up, you know, we could skate, but not in the loop. That was the law.
Okay, I'm clear. So we don't have to worry about going to jail for any warrants.
I assume so.
And you have a good day.
Thank you. When I say I'm a skateboarder, that's who I am, and I don't foresee an end. I don't remember the start. It's just something I do. If anything, I feel really proud to be part of what I consider a generation of skateboarders who kind of bridged from the old bones, Dogtown, kind of original era into this new era. I feel like we're a generation that had a lot of fun pushing it and making it what it is today. So I feel very fortunate to have started skateboarding, you know, when it was young in its history, and now there are 30 and over skaters and 50 and over skaters, and this is really the first time that that sort of thing's happening. I've had a lot of students that have been huge behavior problems for other teachers who just, you know, they're great students for me because of that link. And you know, I would have never thought growing up skateboarding would help me deal with kids at a later age, but you know, just being in the street, and even now when I go to the skate park and I'm hanging out with kids that might be my students if they were in my school district, there's a connection. Skateboarding's always been there for me. Anytime I have problems, or even when I'm really happy, skateboarding is my way to express it. So, you know, when people say you're 31, how come you're not doing this and that, and the traditional lifestyle, so to speak, I don't know, there's still skateboarding, so it keeps everything young and fresh, and I don't feel like I'm 31 because, you know, I go to the skate park and I'm hanging out with 18-year-olds and we're on the same plane. So if anything, it keeps everybody young, and hopefully everyone can find something like that does it for them.
Oh yeah.